Okay, let's say there is a bank application. Obviously, if I ask you to test this banking application, online banking application with let's say 500 users, now that means all 500 users should access this bank application and they should simultaneously perform some task. Okay, like some of them like transfer money, some of them. At this point, sample, record and replay. Now, based on the load runner architecture, can anyone tell which component is used to perform this step? If okay, I fusion protocols. We may or may not use all of them in real time, but as a performance tester, you should know at least two to three. Okay, so when you attend any interviews, they'll ask you at least two to three protocols. I'll tell you what are those which are important. We'll discuss that in some time. So now I'll just select this web HTTP HTML protocol, this one. So basically, whenever you are testing any UI application uh, which runs on the browser with HTTP or HTTPS, okay, uh, you have to use this protocol, web HTTP HTML. Okay, so select this protocol and then here give the script path, or let me give a different folder. Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Let me create a new folder. So here I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, so I created a new folder and then the script name for today I'll just give as demo because this is the first thing that we are recording, right? So the script name I'm just giving it, a generic name for today. Then click on create. No need to enter any solution name or target for now. Just click on create. Okay. So once you create a new script, it will look something like this. So this screen here is a code editor where you can see the script, generated script or the recorded script, which you can enhance it or customize it according to the requirement. And on the left hand side, you have this solution explorer, um, which has different options to work with when developing the script or when replaying the script. We'll discuss the different options of the solution explorer in our upcoming sessions. Okay. Now, the first thing that I have to do is what I thought is like we want to record these three steps, right? So I wanted to record launch, login, and then logout. So first step is launch, second step is login, third step is logout. Okay. So here, if I want to initiate the recording process, I can do it in multiple ways. The shortcut way is to just click this icon for time being. Okay. So when you click on this icon, record icon, it will populate another window. Okay. So when I click on this, so it will pop up a different window like this, where you have to choose. Okay, this option for time being, let it be. I'll explain in the next session, next practical session. For time being, just understand that you have to select some browser, okay, to so that you can launch the application in that browser and then start recording the flow. Okay, I can choose Firefox, Edge, or Chrome. Even if you don't see any of the browsers here, you can add it, no problem. I'll tell you how to do that in our upcoming session. For time being, let's say I'll select Firefox. And here you have to give the application URL. Okay, so you can, I mean, let's say you're working on some project like amazon.com or something, so you can use that URL. Okay, I'm not saying to record on amazon.com, just giving an example. Okay, so uh, in fact we will practice on multiple applications. Even I will give you different URLs for you to practice, no need to worry. So for time being, I'm just entering this URL here, which is a sample application, demo application given by the vendor, my LoadRunner vendor itself. So now when I click on select the browser, give the URL, and then when I click on start recording here, what will happen? When I click on start recording here, this browser will launch with this given URL. Okay, what will happen? The Firefox browser will launch with this given URL. Okay, let's see. So when I click on, and I'm just clicking on start recording here, you'll see the Mozilla Firefox browser getting launched and then the application URL application getting loaded. Uh, it takes time for the first time, probably like 10-15 seconds max. Okay, see here, the Firefox browser launched and then the URL also loaded automatically. Now the application already launched. Okay, the first step is already done. See here, the launch of the application is already done. Application already launched. Now, along with the application, you'll also see a movable window, something like this. There is a movable window over here, which is very useful for generating the script. There is a similar window in JMeter as well. There is a similar mobile window in JMeter as well, but this is more powerful than the JMeter, uh, uh, mobile window. So here we have so many options over here. Okay, so here if you see we have uh, stop recording, pause recording, cancel recording. This option we'll see later, like um, into which action we want to record is all, it's all about that. We'll see that later. Then this is like commenting, and then this is separate concept called checkpoints. This is separate concept called rendezvous point. We'll discuss all of these things in our upcoming session, but for time being, let's focus on these two. So this is called insert start transaction. This is called insert end transaction. So that means whatever the step you are about to execute, or whatever the step that you are about to perform, or whatever the step that you are about to execute, for that you have to start a transaction and then go ahead and perform the action directly on the UI. And then once that particular step is completed, you have to click on this end transaction. Okay, now from these three steps, can anyone tell what is the next step that we are going to perform? What out of these three steps, what is the next step that we are going to perform?
Login.
Login, right? Correct. So launch is already done, right? That's the reason we are about to execute login. So what you have to do here, click on this insert start transaction. Okay, if I do a mouse over, see if I do a mouse over, it says insert start transaction. So go ahead and click on that and give a name to it. For time being, I'll give login because that's the action that I'm going to perform. And then click OK. When I click OK, automatically the insert end transaction will be enabled. Now, right now it is disabled. Okay, you see it is disabled now. But then when I click OK, it will be enabled. Okay, see here. See, it is enabled. Now, I should not click insert end transaction right away. Rather, I should go ahead and perform the action that I want to. That means I have to enter the username and password and click on login button. Now login step is done. Okay, login step is done. Wait for few seconds. Wait for few seconds and then click on insert end transaction. Okay, now you click on insert end transaction. Now, what about the next step? Login is done. What about the next step? Next step is logout, right? So again, click on insert start transaction, then enter logout, then click OK, right? Now go ahead and perform that action on the UI. Click sign off button on the UI. Okay, wait for few seconds so that the page will load and then click on insert end transaction. Okay, all the three steps have been recorded successfully. Now, in the meantime, you could see that there is some number over here which keeps on increasing as and when you perform some step on the UI, it keeps on increasing. So when the number increases, no need to worry. Actually, it's a good sign. So when this number increases, that means the tool is able to record the application successfully. The tool is able to record the application successfully. Okay. If the number is not increasing, like it's only 1, 2, 3, it's like single or two-digit number. Even you are performing so many steps, this number doesn't increase at all. Then that means there is some issue in terms of recording. Okay, that you have to handle it in a different way. But when the number keeps on increasing, it's actually a good sign. Okay. Now, because all the steps recording is done, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on stop recording. Okay, when I click on stop recording, now you will see the script getting generated. This is just for demo purpose, guys. I'm just explaining at a very high level so that you'll understand like how this tool works. How you basically record a simple flow and replay it. Okay. Now, by default, actually we have recorded into this action. So this is where the code will come into picture. All the code will be generated. Okay. Now, mm, how many lines of code is there? Like some 60 or 70 lines of code is present as of now. Okay. Now here, if you see line number 33, what it says? It says LR underscore start underscore transaction. LR underscore start underscore transaction. So this line here is coming because while recording the script, I clicked on insert start transaction and I've given a name for it, right? That's the reason this step has been generated. You got my point? When I was recording the script on there was a mobile window, right? On that, I just clicked on insert start transaction and I've given a name login, right? And then because of that, this piece of code generated. If you see line number 52, it says LR end transaction login. That means login is starting here and it is ending here. Okay. Now this piece of code generated because I clicked on insert end transaction for login. In between, whatever the code you have, it all belongs to login. Okay, so when I entered username and password and I clicked on submit button, right? So this piece of code generated. If you see, this is a username and password that I entered, username and password. Okay, so whatever the code that is present between start transaction of login and between end transaction of login, this entire request belongs to login. Got it? This entire request belongs to login. Uh, then if you see line number 56, you see LR start transaction logout. And then if you see line number 68, LR end transaction logout. LR end transaction logout. So whatever the code that is present between line number 56 and 67. So between this start transaction logout and end transaction logout, this request belongs to logout functionality. That means when I clicked on sign off button, right? So here there is a sign off button, right? When I click on sign off button, this piece of code got generated. You can see the URL name, it says sign off button. Okay, so this is logout, this is login. Can anyone tell what is this request? Can anyone tell what is this request?
Launching URL.
Yeah, correct. So this is about launch. But if you observe carefully, there is no start transaction and no end transaction for launch. Okay, ignore this. Okay, this is not related to, it's a different topic, but focus on this. So if you see for this request, there is no start transaction or end transaction. Why? Because when you click on this record button, and then you clicked on start recording, right? And then the browser launched with this URL. See, even before the mobile window appeared, there was a mobile window, right? Even before that appeared, this browser already launched and this URL already launched. That's the reason we didn't get chance to enter or we didn't get chance to insert a start transaction for launch and end transaction for launch. Got it? Now I will just I can insert manually also. See, I can write on my own LR underscore start underscore transaction, LR underscore start underscore transaction. I can give my name like this on my, see, I can write on my own like this. And after line number 31, I can end it. So I can write LR underscore end underscore transaction. Just for launch, you have to write it manually. You can write it manually like this. Whatever the name you give in the start transaction, same name you have to give in the end transaction also. Okay. And then you have to write LR underscore auto, which I'll explain you later. This is a different keyword. Okay, so in this way, you can add transaction for launch as well. Okay, so this code belongs to launch. This code belongs to login. And then this code belongs to logout. Okay, so it's easy to understand the code and analyze. Okay, so I just have to record the flow properly. That's it. Okay, now can I replay the script? Can I replay the script? Like for example, if I click on replay here, so let's say there is a replay button. See here, there is a replay button. Okay, there is a replay button. If I click on replay, let's say I click on replay, what will happen is this script will get executed. Okay, so let me execute once. I'll click on replay button so that the script will get executed and you'll get to see like the results. See, execution completed. If you see here, launch 0.54 seconds, login 0.4 seconds, logout 0.3 seconds. See, you can clearly analyze like how much time it has taken for the application to launch, how much time it has taken for the application to log in, how much time it has taken for the application to log out. Okay, now you can ask me a question, sir, it has taken 0.5, this has taken 0.4, this has taken 0.3, this has taken 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, but is there anything, any limit, like according to the industry standard or generally what we follow in the performance testing projects, is there any limit that this response time you know should be like only 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 4 seconds like that? Yes, according to the industry standard, the response times should be less than 2 seconds. This is the industry standard. That means if you click a link, or if you click a button, or if you click a link, the user must navigate from one page to another page in less than 2 seconds. That is the industry standard. It could be less than 3 seconds or less than 5 seconds also, depending on the project. If they are okay, that should be fine. But according to the industry standard, it is less than 2 seconds. Okay, so we'll focus more on this. We'll learn more about these response times, SLAs and all those things later. So hope you understood like how to record a simple flow, okay, and replay it. So any